In the infinite dark sea of space, beyond the very last whisper of sunlight, a lone traveler drifts silently. It's not a starship filled with explorers, not a shuttle returning to Earth, not even a probe designed to come back home. It is Voyager 2, an old but persistent messenger. Launched by humanity nearly 5 decades ago, most people think they know its story, a relic drifting aimlessly, crossing into the unknown, quietly sending back weak signals from the edge of forever. But that's not the truth, because something has changed. Voyager 2 has seen something that should not move, something that was never supposed to be there. For decades, its journey through interstellar space was uneventful. Just particles, magnetic fields, and cosmic silence. Until the silence broke a motion, subtle at first, but deliberate, unmistakable, something moving with purpose. And when scientists on Earth decoded the anomalies Voyager 2 transmitted, the realization hit like ice. The one fear humanity always pushed aside, the one possibility that kept astronomers awake at night might actually be true. Voyager 2 had passed all the familiar worlds long ago, past Neptune, past Pluto. Even beyond the heliopause, the invisible frontier where our sun's influence fades and true interstellar space begins. Out there, it was supposed to be nothing more than a silent witness, measuring faint fluctuations in cosmic rays, solar wind and space dust, but instead it picked up movement, and not random movement, the kind of motion that doesn't happen by accident. At first, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory thought it was just a data blip, a spike in the plasma wave readings, barely a few seconds long. The plasma wave instruments are some of the most sensitive tools ever flown. They measure densities, magnetic field interactions, background noise of the universe. Nothing unusual. But this time it was different. The signal pulsed. In a rhythm, not natural, not random. Engineers tried to explain it away. Maybe interference, maybe system degradation. After all, Voyager 2 is old, almost half a century old, still running on technology, weaker than a pocket calculator. But then, the pulse repeated. Stronger, clearer. This wasn't noise. This wasn't random. This was a broadcast. Voyager 2 had seen something, and it had recorded it. When the data was cleaned and enhanced, something emerged, an object, roughly 500,000 kilometers, from Voyager, moving at a velocity no known natural body in that region should have. There are no asteroid belts out there, no rogue planets, no comets, and yet there it was, not drifting aimlessly, not tumbling through space, tracking. Its trajectory almost mirrored Voyager's, adjusting speed, ever so slightly, to remain in the probe's path, like a predator stalking prey, silent, patient, always close enough, but never too close. NASA panicked. Independent astronomers panicked. Even military deep space trackers were alerted, and the verdict was unanimous. This was not a malfunction. Plasma density readings, magnetometer anomalies, even subtle disturbances in Voyager's gyroscopes, all pointed to the same chilling conclusion. Voyager 2 had company, and that company might not be benign. But the most terrifying revelation wasn't what Voyager saw, it was what it sent back. Inside the telemetry feed was a radio burst, a burst that Voyager had not been programmed to send. When decrypted, the burst revealed binary, strings, and when plotted visually, patterns, not random noise, not cosmic waves, constructed shapes. Some compared them to glyphs, spirals, intersections, recursive loops, the kind of geometry that humans once carved into stone. AI linguists and astrophysicists analyzed the data with modern decoding tools, and the result chilled them. This was intentional, not from Voyager, from something else, something that had embedded itself in Voyager's signal stream. Was it a message, a warning, a signature? No one knew. But one thing was undeniable. Voyager 2 wasn't alone, and whatever it encountered, Q had noticed us back. The scientific community split. Some argued this was the proof we had been waiting for, evidence that humanity was not alone in the universe. Others were not so hopeful. They saw something darker. Surveillance, reconnaissance, a prelude to something much worse, because this wasn't a faint signal from a distant galaxy. This was close, too close, and the timing. Disturbing. When researchers dug deeper, they uncovered something shocking. Voyager 1, the sister probe, had detected a nearly identical anomaly. Decades earlier, at the time it was dismissed as static interference, but when modern AI reanalyzed the old logs, the patterns lined up almost perfectly. This wasn't coincidence. This was a second encounter. And suddenly the question shifted. How long has something been watching us? The more data poured in, the stranger it became. Using precise modeling, scientists mapped the anomaly's movement. It didn't follow gravitational paths like comets or asteroids. Its trajectory bent unnaturally. As if it was deliberately warping space itself to remain hidden, every simulation failed. No known physics could explain its behavior. Worse still, the object seemed to accelerate, then slow, on command, hovering just beyond the reach of detection, and, most disturbing of all, it only moved when Voyager transmitted. It was listening, learning, or hiding. Some scientists dared to whisper, what if Voyager didn't just discover this object? What if it provoked it? Because then the danger wasn't just out there in the void. It was already awake. Around the same time, Voyager's magnetometer registered violent magnetic flux shifts, changes so sharp they suggested active manipulation of electromagnetic fields. Whispers spread. A leaked internal report compared the distortions to toroidal energy signatures, the kind some theorists associate with warp drives. If true, Voyager may have stumbled upon technology capable of folding space itself, and with every new pulse, the truth became harder to deny. We are not alone, and we never were. Then came Earth's turn. Radio telescopes across the globe, Chile, Australia, South Africa, began detecting faint echoes. They matched the same distorted frequency Voyager had recorded. But here's the frightening part. The echoes were synchronized with Voyager's transmissions, as if something, somewhere, was mirroring its activity. Analysts called it the phantom pulse. The more they listened, the clearer it became. This wasn't local. This wasn't one object. This was everywhere. And so the conversation shifted once again. Not what is it, but why. Now, for 50 years, Voyager had drifted quietly, fading into obscurity. Why respond now? Some theorized the answer was simple. It waited, watching, until humanity finally had the technology, the AI, the quantum tools, to decode its signal. And only then did it choose to respond. Governments tightened their grip, media blackouts, observatories quietly closed, researchers reassigned or silenced. Behind closed doors, one question echoed louder than ever. Did Voyager 2 make first contact, or did it awaken? Something we were never meant to find. In the end, Voyager 2 was no longer just a messenger, it became the trigger of a revelation that shattered our sense of cosmic solitude. The moving structure, the mirrored transmissions, the encoded glyphs. None of it fits into the safe boxes of human science, because something or someone is out there. Not light years away, not in some distant galaxy, here, at the edges of our own solar system, watching, waiting, and, perhaps the most terrifying part of all, they chose now to respond, not when Voyager launched, not when it passed Neptune, not even when it first touched interstellar space. Now, when humanity had finally reached the technological threshold to understand, the question is no longer, are we alone? The real question is, what have we just woken up? Stay alert, because this story is far from over. The next signal could arrive at any moment, and the next discovery might not just change what we know about the universe. It might change who we are.